Ariana stands frozen outside the courtroom door, a weather-creased folder clutched tight against her chest. The fluorescent lights hum above her, washing her skin in a cold blue tint. Her thumb grazes the frayed corner of the document inside. The real deed, her father's last truth, softened by years and secrets. Behind the heavy door, her uncle's booming laughter erupts, sharp, smug, echoing like he's already claimed victory. It slices straight through her composure. Ariana shuts her eyes. One breath. She feels the weight of every silenced woman in her bloodline press down, then steady her spine. The bailiff calls her name. Ariana steps forward, heels striking the marble with deliberate force. She pushes the door open, prepared to expose a lie 10 years in the making. The legacy was always spoken about in hushed tones. Her grandmother's $800,000 land, the pride of the women, yet somehow always managed by the men. Ariana had grown up watching the pattern. The women worked, sacrificed, endured, while the men signed papers and took credit. Her father, quiet and warm-eyed, had guarded that land with a devotion that didn't need to be loud. Even as illness hollowed his cheeks and slowed his steps, he protected it. When he died, the house carried the faint scent of wilting flowers and eucalyptus oil, clinging to the air like a final goodbye. That same week, Uncle Raymond appeared. His presence always arrived before he did, the heavy, thudding footsteps, the jangle of keys, the sharp scent of overpowering cologne. Raymond stepped into every room as if it belonged to him, filling it with swagger and a smirk that suggested ownership of things he'd never earned. During family dinners, he planted himself at the head of the table, commenting on the food as though he were doing the women a favor by eating it. He talked over them about land deals they couldn't understand, while Ariana watched her mother fold inward, shoulders bowing under his booming voice. Her aunts stayed quiet, eyes lowering whenever he dismissed them with a grunt or a mocking chuckle. After her father's passing, Raymond returned, this time carrying a stack of documents. The room was dim, a single lamp casting soft gold circles across the hardwood. Raymond set the papers down with a thud. He claimed the land had been transferred to him for convenience. Ariana's gaze locked onto his hands, the slight tremor, not of grief, but of hunger, urgency, entitlement. Across from him, her mother gripped a cup of cooling tea, knuckles whitening around the handle. Maybe we can't fight him," she whispered, voice thin as tissue paper. Ariana felt her breath hitch, her pulse tightening in her chest. A memory flickered. Her father, frail but insistent, placing a small box into her hands. Inside, a single brass key. His voice had been barely above a whisper. "Keep this safe. One day you'll understand." Back then, she didn't. Now the truth edged closer, sharp, undeniable. And fear rose inside her like fire spreading through her ribs, burning away the last traces of doubt. A sharp winter wind cuts across the open fields as Ariana steps out of her car. The gravel crunches beneath her shoes, each step echoing heavier than the last. The gates ahead, once open, familiar, welcoming, are now locked behind a tall, freshly installed fence. A metal sign glints under the pale morning sun. Product of Raymond Enterprises. The shine feels cruel, taunting. Beyond the fence, unfamiliar workers move with mechanical efficiency. Engines roar, metal clashes, dirt spills into the air. The land her grandmother once tended with bare, patient hands is being ripped apart by machines and strangers. A bitter gust carries the sharp smell of gasoline, stinging Ariana's eyes. The betrayal doesn't hit like a thought. It hits like a punch. Interior. Raymond's office. Afternoon. Ariana pushes through the door without knocking. The room is thick with the smell of stale cigars and cheap whiskey, the kind that clings to leather and wood. Raymond sits behind a massive oak desk, chair leaned back, boots crossed as if he owns the world. Quadra always to look up. A folder slides across the desk toward her with a careless flick. "All legal," he mutters. "Don't strain yourself." Cabinets, Ariana opens it. Inside lies a photocopied deed. the signature jagged, shaky, nothing like her grandmother's graceful script. Her pulse surges, a hot roar rising in her ears. Raymond finally glances up, watching the anger bloom across her face. He smirks. "Honey, land business isn't for emotional girls." The words land like a slap. Ariana's stomach twists, humiliation burning under her ribs. Her mother's voice whispers through her memory, defeated, tired, resigned. "We can't fight him." Shimmer cases the folder without a word. Interior, father's old room, night. Moonlight spills in through thin curtains as Ariana sits at her father's wooden desk. Her fingers brush over the brass key, the one he gave her with trembling hands and a cryptic promise. Symmetric it into the lock. The drawer sticks at first, then gives way with a soft groan, releasing the faint scent of aged cedar. Inside, wrapped carefully in a faded blue cloth, lies a single, sealed envelope. Her breath snags. She lifts it gently. Father's land. Original deed. Her hands tremble as she tears it open. The document inside is aged, edges yellowed, ink softened by time, but unmistakably real. The signature flows with confidence, every curve undeniably her father's. Ariana sits frozen for a moment, listening to the soft ticking of the dusty wall clock. The world feels still, suspended. Then the stillness breaks. Anger settles into something sharper, resolve. Raymond hadn't just taken land. He had gutted the legacy. He had stolen her father's final fight. He had counted on her silence. He was wrong. Documents spread across the floor in organized chaos. Photocopies, tax receipts, worn family photos, and the original deed, placed at the center like a heart still beating. The lamp casts a warm, amber glow, giving the room the feel of a war room. Ariana kneels among the papers, red pen in hand. She brings the forged deed close. The signature trembles in awkward places, the curves unnaturally sharp. His father's real signature, elegant and fluid, sits beside it in an old letter. Ariana circles each discrepancy with slow, deliberate strokes. Her breath stays steady, focused, controlled. Laptop open, bank logs displayed. Ariana scrolls through old tax statements her father paid, every detail exact, timestamps precise. He maintained the land faithfully until the year he died. Yet Raymond claimed ownership during those same years. "Impossible," she murmurs. Blankets fly across the keys, capturing screenshots, exporting PDFs, and cross-checking dates. Every inconsistency adds fuel to the fire building in her chest. She's not just searching. Blankets, she's building an arsenal. The room smells of old paper and metal drawers that have been opened 1,000,000 times. Ariana stands at the counter while an older female clerk examines Raymond's deed. Crimson eyebrows shoot up almost instantly. "This stamp isn't from our office," she says, tapping the bottom corner. "And this signature? Too fresh, too wrong." Ariana's pulse quickens, not with fear, but with confirmation. She photographs every page, every stamp, every clerk's note. She timestamps each image on her phone before uploading it to neatly labeled digital folders. Paper trail, cloud backup. She refuses to let a single truth slip through her fingers. Old videotapes whir softly in the player. Ariana sits cross-legged on the floor as footage flickers across the screen. There, his father at the dining table signing her will. Her hand flows with unmistakable grace, the pen gliding effortlessly. Ariana pauses the footage, zooms in. The real signature is alive, confident, steady. Raymond's version? A clumsy imitation with none of the memory or muscle behind it. The comparison is devastating. Her resolve hardens. Camila Hayes sits across from Ariana, composed and razor-sharp. Her office carries a faint scent of lavender and fresh ink, the atmosphere calm but powerful. Ariana lays out her evidence piece by piece, photos, logs, statements, the original deed wrapped in its faded blue cloth. Camila watches quietly at first, writing slow, confident notes. Occasionally, she glances up with an expression that says she recognizes a woman stepping into her power. When Ariana gently places the original deed on the desk, Camila leans forward, her voice low but certain. "This is your anchor," she says. "Men like Raymond don't fear truth. They fear women who can prove it." Ariana exhales, tension leaving her shoulders in a slow ripple. She closes the folder Camila hands her, trial prep, motions, strategy. She sits behind the wheel, gripping the folder tightly. A fire settles in her chest, no longer wild but controlled, directed. She has the truth. She has the evidence. She has the will to use it. The turning point isn't coming. It's here. And Ariana is done being quiet. The courtroom is bright and cold, the kind of cold that crawls through fabric and settles against the skin. The metal seats bite with every slight movement. Overhead, white fluorescent lights hum steadily, casting a sterile glow over the polished floors and pale walls. Ariana sits beside Camila, hands wrapped around the weathered folder that holds the original deed. Her heartbeat is steady, but every inhale feels weighted. This room, these walls, this moment, 10 years of grief, injustice, and buried truth have led her here. The door opens. Raymond enters with his trademark swagger, adjusting his expensive tie, shoulders thrown back in false confidence. He greets everyone with a grin too wide to be genuine, too smug to be innocent. In his mind, this is simply another business meeting he intends to dominate. He spots Ariana, smirks. His eyes flicker with mock amusement as if whispering, "You don't belong here." Ariana lifts her chin slightly, silent, unshaken. Judge Helena Moore steps in. Her posture is upright, graceful, but firm enough to command immediate respect. As she takes her seat, the room's atmosphere shifts, tightening with anticipation. A single, sharp gavel tap. Silence swallows every sound. Raymond's attorney rises with theatrical confidence, the kind of man who loves the sound of his own voice. He lifts the photocopied deed high, presenting it like holy scripture. "Your Honor," he booms, "this document clearly establishes Raymond Collins as the rightful owner of the property." Raymond nods along dramatically, his thumbs thought behind his belt buckle in a posture taps impatiently, as though the case is already won. Ariana watches him with a still, unreadable expression, one born not from intimidation, but clarity. He has no idea what's coming. Camila, precise, unbothered. "Your Honor," she begins, voice smooth as polished stone, "the document they're relying on is a forgery." A wave of whispers sweeps across the room. Raymond stiffens, the smirk flickering. Judge Moore raises a hand, restoring silence. Camila continues, "And we intend to demonstrate that clearly." The lights dim slightly as Camila projects two signatures onto the screen. On the left, the shaky, inconsistent signature from the photocopied deed. On the right, Ariana's father's real signature, captured from old documents and the video. Side by side, the truth is striking. Camila moves closer, pointer in hand. The forged signature hesitates here, and here. Sharp turns where there should be fluidity, a stiffness that contradicts the natural writing style of the deceased. Gasps from the gallery. Raymond's jaw tightens, his posture shifts, the cowboy stance falters. Judge Moore leans in, studying every detail with sharp eyes. Ariana watches quietly, feeling his father's dignity reclaim the room. Camila clicks to the next slide. Bank logs, tax receipts, payment histories, each one filed by Ariana's father during the years Raymond claimed ownership. "Your Honor," Camila says, "these records prove that Mr. Collins could not have held legal ownership. Ariana's father paid every tax during that period. Raymond's claim contradicts documented financial history." Raymond swallows hard. His attorney scribbles frantic notes. The arrogance begins to crack. The older female clerk enters the witness stand, adjusting her glasses. Her voice is steady, confident, unshakable. "This deed," she says, lifting the forged copy, "never passed through our office. This stamp is not ours. It is an imitation." Gasps ripple again. Raymond's attorney rubs his temples. Raymond shifts in his seat, panic flashing in his eyes. Ariana sits taller. Camila plays the old family recording. The courtroom falls into stillness as the grainy footage fills the screen. Ariana's father sits at the dining table, posture straight, hand steady, signing her will with elegant ease. The pen flows like water. The real signature moves with familiarity, muscle memory, and confidence. Not one tremble, not one hesitation. The forged version projected beside it looks clumsy, cheap, and desperate. The room is silent except for the soft hum of the projector. Raymond's face drains of color. His fingers clench the edges of the table. Even his attorney looks defeated. Judge Moore nods for the next piece of evidence. Ariana rises. Her heels click with unwavering certainty as she walks to the evidence table. She carries the weathered folder carefully, as though it holds the heartbeat of her family's history. She opens it. Gently, deliberately, she places the original deed onto the table. The courtroom seems to inhale collectively. The edges are yellowed, the ink slightly faded. The signature is unmistakably authentic. Ariana steps back, her voice clear. "This is my father's true deed, preserved by my father, hidden to protect our legacy." Raymond snaps. "This is a setup. They're framing me. This is fabricated." Judge Moore slams the gavel, knocking Mr. Collins. "One more outburst and you will be removed from this courtroom." Raymond's attorney tries to pull him down by the sleeve. Breaks Mason's mask is gone. Panic replaces arrogance. His world is unraveling in front of him. Judge Moore straightens the papers before her, voice firm, resonant. After reviewing all evidence, the court rules in favor of Ariana. Raymond's face collapses. Judge Moore legally and rightfully belongs to her. In addition, Raymond Collins will face charges of fraud, forgery, and property theft. A hollow thud echoes as Raymond sinks back into his seat. Two officers approach. The metallic click of handcuffs rings through the room. Loud, final, humiliating. Raymond's arrogance dissolves into defeat as he is escorted away, head bowed, the courtroom doors closing behind him with a heavy thump. Is. Ariana stands still, breath slow, steady. Justice didn't just speak, it roared. Ariana steps into the warm sunlight, the brightness washing over her like a rebirth. The air feels sharper, cleaner, as if the world itself has shifted to make room for the truth she just unleashed. Behind her, the heavy courthouse doors swing open. Raymond is escorted through the hallway, wrists cuffed, head lowered. His arrogance, once loud enough to fill entire rooms, crumbles in silence. The sound of his chains echoes faintly, but Ariana doesn't turn, not even once. Midpoint Area's eyes glistening, not with fear, not with resignation, but with pride. A kind of pride that their family's women were rarely allowed to feel. Judge Moore walks past, offering a subtle, knowing nod. One woman to another, a quiet acknowledgement of a battle fought with evidence, grit, and spine. Ariana opens her folder briefly. The original deed rests inside, its worn edges now symbols of triumph rather than burden. His father's land, her father's final hope. Her own fight brought full circle. She closes it gently, no dramatic embrace, no matter find, no once, but not mean them to fit like a little. She can be completely. No synaptic music, reclaiming what generations were told they didn't deserve. Because justice doesn't whisper, it strikes. And today, justice spoke in a woman's voice. If this story hit you, drop a comment below. Don't leave without liking the video, and if you love powerful courtroom justice stories, subscribe for more.